So I asked my friend about a week ago, I said, make me a presentation, please. She's like,
presentation about what?
I said, anything. Anything your little heart desires. And as of today, that presentation is in my possession. So yes, this is a presentation she made me, but it is now
My presentation.
Okay, shall we begin? So, thank you everyone so much for coming to my presentation. I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity to share this message because this is a message that's very important to me. I just feel very grateful to have this opportunity for some people to listen, And this presentation is about where are we going?
Now,
When we think about life, right? That's really the big question. Okay, what is our direction? Which path are we taking? This is a very important question. Okay, and this is going to be kind of a theme we're going to see throughout this presentation. It's very
fundamental
in what we're talking about today. All right. Now, this is a prime example of what I was talking about and how everyday decisions that we're making can really impact something bigger. Because, when we think of chicken nuggets, what do we usually put on chicken nuggets? We usually put on ketchup, barbecue sauce.
Now,
would we ever think to put mustard on chicken nuggets? Probably not. But see, that the thing is, what we really need to kind of try to open our boxes, open our box to the world and to different things, different opportunities, things that we probably wouldn't have thought about doing in the past.
And
this is what we can see here with this example, because if we were to possibly try mustard on our chicken nuggets, maybe we would like it enough to buy an even larger tub of mustard. Okay? And how does this impact the economy? Really, how does this not impact the economy? Because, like what I was talking about, if we were to go and potentially buy a bigger tub of mustard, that's creating jobs. That's creating jobs not only in the mustard sector of the condiment industry, but also potentially cashier jobs because there's more people going to the store buying mustard. So really, it's really a question of how isn't this impacting the economy? John Krasinski is a wonderful example of this as well because he was named World's Sexiest Man Alive 2024. But really, the point that I'm trying to get across with John Krasinski is that if he were to never have watched the movie Devil Wears Prada starring Anne Hathaway, would he ever have become obsessed with Emily Blunt, his now wife? Maybe they never would even have gotten married or had kids or anything. And maybe he would have gotten a dog. A corgi specifically. Who knows? But this is almost like an extreme example because of he watched a movie, now he has a wife and kids because of that. So, this is a wonderful example. And I think it really drives the point home through with this. Now, something else that I wanted to talk about is artificial intelligence, because this is something that we see, everyone's talking about all the time. We see it in the news, people talk about how students are using it, for their homework, things like that. But I think recently it's really become an issue, and we can't tell when pictures have used artificial intelligence. And this is sometimes it's almost concerning because it's like, well, how do I know which pictures are real and which ones aren't? And I think this is a perfect example of that because this one is so, looking at first glance in this picture, and even multiple glances afterwards, I could not tell, that this is AI. But believe it or not, it is. And I think that just goes to show how are we going to be telling the difference? How are we supposed to tell what's AI and what's not? And I think it's a little scary. How is this going to impact things in the future? This is another prime example, okay?
So
we all know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I think this is a wonderful example because, I kid you not, when I was putting this presentation together, because I'm the one that made this presentation, I was thinking, well, I feel like this, I don't want to trick the audience a little too much because this one is very, I feel like you guys would probably agree that I feel like this one is very difficult to tell the difference because you might be thinking that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is on the left side of this photo, but nay. I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but like actually he's on the right side and a actual rock is on the left. You know, honestly, when I was looking for these photos online to put this presentation together, I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe when I searched up a picture of a rock that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would actually be on there. This rock looks so similar to him, but you know, that's where artificial intelligence has come, and it's really, it's wild to me, you know? You know, something that, you know, while I was putting this presentation together, I was, you know, the over-encompassing idea of this presentation is, where are we going? You know, decisions and things and stuff. But no one really seems to be asking, must we? But I think that is a wonderful question to almost go further in depth with these very large questions, you know, the very deep questions, but must we, you know? And I added water onto this slide because I think water is a perfect representation of this. Sure, we can make these decisions. Maybe we're thinking about, oh yeah, I want to do this, or I don't want to do this. This is why we're making our decisions. But with water, I think it's very important to stay calm, to not have a lot of waves and make irrational decisions, you know, just have nice, rational, calm waters, okay? Now, I would love to give an example. So this is prime example because you know how we were talking earlier about mustard, and should we decide to potentially go out of our box and try mustard on chicken nuggets and things like that because maybe we'd like it, maybe, you know, economy and things like that. But I think we should also ask, but must we do that? I think that when we're looking at this picture, we're thinking, you know, probably something along the same lines is, we can shave our face with mustard, but must we? Yes, you got it perfectly. We also have to think about the consequences, right? Now, this slide really hits home for me because this is something that, like, upon first look, you might be a little bit confused about what this means, you know, what does this have to do with the presentation? But really, this is one of the slides that drives this idea home the most, because when we think about it, this is something that Shrek says all the time. This is what, you know, he quotes this, but he says that he says that layers, you know, are like onions. You know, or something like that. He says, things are like onions. Everything's got layers. Our decisions have layers to it, just like onions. I think a lot of the times we can find a lot of inspiration, and we can find different things that we can learn throughout. You might watch Shrek and think, well, what's Shrek gonna teach me? Shrek is a cartoon movie. That's not really its purpose. It's kind of to entertain.
But
upon further looking, you can really learn a lot. And let me just say that I think Shrek could give John Krasinski a run for his money for Sexiest Man Alive 2024, because Shrek's putting in the work, apparently. And this is just another wonderful example of, but must we? I think we see examples like this on the news all the time when people are like they're getting stuck in small places, you know, in these small caves and things like that. We're thinking,
well,
why did they do that? You know, I think a lot of us can understand that because, like, you know, it seems like the logical answer. You know, we don't need to be going into these small caves, but a lot of people are choosing to do that, then they get stuck, and it's this big issue and things like that. But, you know, some people might try to justify, well, it's an adrenaline rush and things like that. But, you know, you could also argue that that's not a good reason. You know, we could also say, well, let's try roller coasters first. Different options, like the mustard example, you know, ketchup, mustard, climbing into caves of small areas, roller coasters, okay?
Yes.
And now this really brings home a personal story. This really hits where it hurts because, not that I remember exactly when this happened, but December 22nd, 2018, I happened to go skiing for the first time, okay? No experience whatsoever beforehand, so I was taking lessons. With my cousins. We were on the bunny hill. It was going swell. It was hardly even falling, and even when I did, it didn't hurt that bad because it was a bunny hill, okay? Then my uncle had this bright idea of, you should go on the big hill. And so I was thinking, You know,
I don't want to do that.
but he kept pushing and pushing, and eventually I'm like, alright, let's go on the big hill. I went on the big hill and smacked my head on the ground. I can't even remember how many times because I hit my head so hard.
And
I never went up there again. In fact, I have never gone skiing again to this day. I have retired, and I think... Did I need to do that? Did I need to go on the big hill when I was making progress on the bunny hill? Probably not.
probably not.
Now, I would like to share a quote that my grandma used to say all the time. She used to say, "There are approximately 1,010,300 words in the English language, but I could never string enough of them together to properly express how much I wanted to hit you with a chair." So, my grandma was a very direct woman.
And
She really didn't like to mince words, so I just thought I would share that quote with you because I thought it was really just kind of a heartwarming quote and just something, something personal that I would share that she always used to.
say to me,
And that wraps up our presentation, guys. Thank you so much. And this has really been, I worked on this very hard, okay? This is something I've been working on for, I want to say 3 years now. Like, this has taken me some time because I really just wanted to get all of my thoughts together, be able to express my thoughts in a coherent way. I hope I've been able to do that for you guys today, and I hope you learned something, most importantly. And happy Tuesday. It's actually Wednesday when I'm presenting this, but thank you guys so much. If you have any questions about this presentation, just let me know, or don't. Bye.